Okay, this company is not a pure commodities producer or player, but our guest uses up a lot of oil, or his customers do. More and more companies have been warning investors that they just have to yank their forecast because of uncertainty caused by the trade war. However, private jets seem to be doing just fine. Bombardier is in the process of rolling out the Global 8000 jet, and it says this will be the world's fastest civilian aircraft since the Concorde, the late lamented Concorde. The company just posted its Q1 numbers, and it is providing a forecast for the year, having withdrawn it earlier in the year. We're joined now by Éric Martel, CEO of Bombardier. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Good afternoon.
So just looking at your latest quarter, and I know it's just one quarter and yours can be a very lumpy business, but demand holding steady for business jets, revenue and profit were both up.
Yeah. No, actually, our profit were up 21%. Our revenue were up 19% compared to Q1 last year. But I think what's remarkable also is that we're still able to collect order. From the United States, as there was a lot of uncertainty, as you know, earlier in the year. Actually, and I said that at our Q1 earning call, that in February, everything was kind of paused for about a month. And then everything has been coming back to a more normal environment since then. So we've been, I would say, operating in a normal world these days.
You did withdraw the forecast, saying, look, the trade war makes it impossible. Yeah. But then it turns out your planes are compliant with CUSMA, the North American Trade Agreement, and you think you're not in the firing line.
Yeah. No, we don't think we're in the firing line. We were uncertain at the beginning of the year, like a lot of us. We gave our result. We were going to provide, actually, guidance, first week of February. But then there was so much uncertainty, we decided not to provide it. So we never presented it. So we decided in Q1, at the end of Q1, though, to do it early April, late April, to provide a forecast for the year, which is in line with our target we had published in the past.
So Veritas, they have a buy on your stock. They say, sure, it looks solid, the guidance. You're looking for revenue and adjusted EBITDA up 7% and 14%. And we're looking at the stock. Look how it's up more than 8-fold in the past 5 years. Yeah. However, they do say that relative to your original targets that you introduced in spring of 2024, it's a long time ago now, the profit and the free cash flow are a bit down from that prior guidance.
I would say slightly, and that's a true statement. So we decided to be a bit more on the conservative side, reflecting, I would say, the environment we're in right now. But this is like very small difference with what we were targeting early, I would say, in 24. So we reaffirmed that guidance earlier in the year, and we feel pretty good about being able to achieve it this year.
So what are so tell us about the Global 8000. You're an engineer. How does it go so fast? Almost the speed of sound. 0.9.
It is actually.
Mach 0.9.
Exactly, 0.94, sorry, right now. So we're very pleased with that. As you said earlier, this is the fastest civilian airplane since the Concorde. We actually, in order to certify the airplane, we had to fly it supersonic. So we flew it during testing supersonic in order to be able to certify it at 0.94.
With a NASA F-18 helping
exactly,
out.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube, actually, you're going to be able to see that video. You see our pilot walking in and doing the test flight.
How do you make it go so fast, though?
Actually, the airplane, I think one of the difference that Bombardier has compared to other OEM we're competing with, think about Gulfstream or Dassault, is really the wing we have. So we also designed an engine with GE specifically for this airplane. So we were able to design, like I would say, a perfect plane. And the wing, with slats is something that nobody else is doing, which give us all kind of performance advantage compared to the other OEM.
Why is it important, though, to some customers to be able to go that fast?
Yeah, I think, they want to be able to go fast. They want to be able to go long distance because this airplane, other than going fast, it's going to be the longest range airplane, 8,000 nautical miles. So you can sit on that airplane for 17, 18 hours flying somewhere else. And, the people that buy that plane are people that very often, I like to say, are shipping up the world. They're chairman, CEO of a global company. They need to move around like quite fast, go around the world within a week because they have a global operation or customer all over. So I think it's a tool for them. And they're using that plane, so because it can do the long distance, can land pretty much anywhere, very interesting short field performance.
I thought that was interesting. Such a high-performance plane can use a pretty short runway.
Absolutely.
Why is that? How did you manage that?
Again, the wing. The wing is really the secret at Bombardier of our capabilities. Whatever if it's on range, whatever if it's airport performance. We have something coming out pretty soon that we can do 30% more airport than our competitor because of the wing technology we develop here in Canada.
So what is your biggest selling plane, though, right now, would you say?
The Challenger 3500 is the biggest selling plane. So this airplane, we have more than 1,000. We delivered actually number 1,000 earlier this year. It's been a real success. It's been going on for 20 years. The airplane is recognized as being, one of the most performing airplane in terms of cost of operation, in terms of capability, also and reliability. You have big fleet operator like that are using that plane for those reasons. So a very successful product for us along the years.
One thing investors have been wondering about is Spirit. Some of the assets of Spirit Aerosystems are being sold off.
Yes.
It's a maker of parts for other plane makers, including Boeing. Boeing is going to buy what's left of the company.
Yeah.
But they do make fuselages for you.
Absolutely.
Spirit. So, and you have talked about the possibility of buying those operations. Have you made a decision?
Yeah. We haven't made a decision, but I would say the discussion keep going. So we haven't finalized any discussion yet. It's a complex situation because it involves Spirit, of course, it involves Boeing, it involves Airbus and Bombardier, and especially the Belfast facility where the fuselage are made for our product, for 4 out of the 5 product. There's also work being done there for Airbus. So there's discussion going on, but no decision have been made yet.
In Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Exactly.
And it's still, what do they do there? They're assembling the fuselages?
They machine parts and they assemble the fuselage also.
Right, and of course Belfast has a long engineering
long history,
tradition.
absolutely. Great engineer over there.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So tariffs, you're not completely out of the woods, I presume, because there could be disruption to your supply chains.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can claim that they are out of the wood yet, okay? And I think we're just waiting. So I think to your point earlier, we're protected with CUSMA right now. And we're going to see what's going to happen in, 40-45 days from now. But we are hopeful. I think at the end, it's important to understand that aerospace has been free trade for many, many years. Since 1997 overall, the whole supply chain has been structured this way. Actually, Bombardier has 2,800 suppliers in the United States. So if we don't have access to the market because we have tariff on our product, it's also going to hurt, our supplier base if we reduce the rate here in Canada. So I think it's well understood in the U.S. more and more right now. And we'll see. I'm a big believer that common sense will prevail.
I have to ask, just finally, are you getting a lot of orders out of the Middle East for business jets? Is that a major market for you?
Yeah, it is a major market. It's been a growing market, I would say, over the last couple of years, especially now. And they're looking for long-range airplanes. So the Global has been very popular in the Middle East.
Éric, we'll better leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Éric Martel is the CEO of Bombardier.